Hello and welcome to the Australian Gamer Show. I'm Yug.
And I'm the Walrus, Goo Goo Gajoob.
And tonight we'll be talking about Portal 2, Sonic Generations, Deus Ex developers listen to their fans, and Serious Sam 3.
Oh, I'm glad you read it out because I couldn't see the screen from over here.
Yes, I know. Well, welcome to the show. I'm sure you're probably surprised that there's another podcast a week after the last one. But we're trying to...
How strange that timeliness is happening on this site.
It's crazy, but we're hoping to get into a bit of a routine with Matt and Barry doing a podcast last week and myself and Yahtzee this week. And,
Not that I'm going to be here much longer.
No. This is the thing, because I'm in Melbourne and Matt's in Brisbane, so we thought we'll alternate every 2 weeks. And thankfully, this particular time, I have Yahtzee down here in Melbourne.
Yes, I happened to be here.
Welcome to Melbourne, Yahtzee.
Thank you. It's fucking cold.
Sunshiny and bright and... yeah.
My balls are dropping off.
Yeah. What is that all you've got to say about the city? We've been wandering around the city for the entire weekend, checking out the sights and the places and coffee and food and stuff.
And being very cold.
That's it. That's all you've got.
I also survived the edge.
Yes.
I got a wristband that says I did.
For those that don't know, there's a thing called the edge, which is a glass box that slowly moves you outside of a building where it simulates... I don't know.
It doesn't simulate anything.
No.
Yeah, you're in a glass box and you're on the top floor of the tallest building in the city.
Yeah.
And then it moves outside the building and you look down through the floor.
Yeah.
And it didn't really bother me because I was always, as a child, at the mindset, the fanciful mindset that if there's glass between you and something, it could just be a virtual reality screen.
Really?
Did you ever do that? When you were on the school bus and you were being driven to the swimming bath, you'd pretend you were in a giant virtual reality simulator and actually the bus was standing still and they were just changing all the scenery around it while the 3D virtual reality movie was playing on the screens, and really you weren't being driven anywhere. The swimming bath was in a secret cellar underneath the school or something when I'm drifting.
No.
You never
No, I never actually pretended I was in a virtual world when I was a kid. I'm sorry.
That's not what I said at all.
But yeah, no, it was fun. The only problem I had with it was because it takes you out and all the glass is frosted.
Yes.
So it moves out and you're in this frosted box. You don't see anything, and then all of a sudden,
it's that magic glass that was in that one Splinter Cell game.
And
if you pass an electric current through it, it becomes opaque.
Yeah, but don't tell me you weren't worried. Everyone in that room was grabbing onto their handrails. They're like, yeah, this is fun, but no one was letting go.
I let go when I realised I wasn't letting go.
Right, okay.
And then I laid down and looked through the floor. It was weird.
But yeah, obviously Yahtzee here in Melbourne, and also here at the Melbourne Manor Bar.
Yes, I'm inspecting the place.
Yes, he hasn't seen it since we first signed the lease, and the place looked like a bomb site at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think of it now? How's it progressing, Yahtzee?
Oh, it's certainly coming along.
Yes.
It's just a shame about all the stuff we have to wait on before we can open the bloody place. That has nothing to do with actually developing the place.
It's fun times. I really wish people would stop asking me when the Melbourne Manor Bar opens.
Well, yes. I told you this the other day. At my last trivia quiz, we have this thing at my trivia quiz called the creativity question, where the funniest answer to a question I give them gets an extra 5 points. And the question I went with this week was, I hadn't really thought of one until I got there. So Portal 2 had just come out, so I said, okay, here's your creativity question. The cake is a lie. Now say something else that is a lie. And they had to come up with a funny thing that is a lie. And someone said, Manor Bar Melbourne.
I hope you disqualified them.
I certainly did.
Yes, okay, good.
I always disqualify them if they give any entry that's anything to do with me or the bar.
Very nice. But we have topics. We have gaming-related topics.
Do we?
Things. We do.
Over in the distance there, in a tiny font.
This is a structured podcast.
Yes, those are good, aren't they? Those are good to have around.
So, yeah, I mean, look, there's not many games. Actually, we looked at the games coming out this week, or next week, and in the next 2 weeks, there's fuck all coming out.
It's a piddler. There's a thing called Darkspore coming out this week, which is a spin-off of the Spore series from Maxis.
Yep. It's more of an RTS-y sort of thing, though, right?
I'm not sure what it is. From what I saw of videos, it's sort of top-downy, hacky-slashy sort of thing.
Okay, Diablo, Dungeon CG.
Yeah, that sort of area. But
does it have co-op?
But in the Spore universe.
Yes, but does it have co-op?
Allegedly.
Okay, see, this is the big thing, and probably the main thing about Portal 2 that we're going to bring up is myself and Yahtzee actually played through the Portal 2 co-op last week.
And would you believe, by default, I was the fat one and Yug was the thin one?
I don't know
How
why
does that make sense?
I don't know why you keep harping on about this.
I was insulted. That's going in the review. Valve.
Oh, you poor thing. Fine. But no, it was fun. Okay, I don't know if you actually wanted to say anything about it. Obviously, you've got your Portal 2.
Yeah, my opinion on Portal 2 is a marketable resource, man. There's a lot of demand for it. Everyone's like, "Ooh, are you going to do Portal 2? Ooh, what have you got to say about Portal 2?" Well, you'll have to wait for the video.
There you go. But the co-op. The co-op that we played through, I don't know if I was expecting it not to be good or anything like that, or if I expected it to be fantastic, but it was, I really enjoyed it. Of course, I really enjoyed it. It's Portal co-op.
Of course, you enjoyed it. You were playing with me.
Well, no, that's. I had to get through at least 4 levels of you going, I'm so fantastic. Look at me, I'm doing all the work. Actually,
you were doing it too.
No, here's the thing though, like the voiceover of GLaDOS, because you're actually playing as these 2 little robot characters.
Yes.
And you probably figured it out before I did, but like the GLaDOS are going, "Good work, you two. Yes, work together," and she's giving you all the instructions. But then every so often she'd say like,
I think the plot thread they have going is that she's getting suspicious of your friendship.
Yes.
How you're getting close, and she starts to like drive a wedge between the two of you, saying things like, "Oh, you're right, Orange. What you said about Blue is completely true. He is a fool."
But here's the thing. I reckon when you're hearing that, I'm hearing, "Oh, you're right, Blue. What you said about Orange is completely true."
Really? Because I thought it was about half and half, like that she favoured each one.
And there were moments later on where she's like, Don't tell the other one that I'm saying this, but, I'm saying this just to you, but you're doing all the work, or things like that."
I heard that one too.
See?
I think it was just the same audio for both of us.
That bitch.
I mean, what would be the point?
To just
a lot of people will be playing it. A lot of people will be playing it split screen. They wouldn't get that effect.
That's a good point. Well, we played on Steam anyway, which was
with the voice chat.
With the voice chat sort of thing, which worked all right. But I think what was really interesting about playing through it was we hadn't played it before. It was the first time that both of us played through this. But I don't think I could play it again. I think there's not much replayability to the co-op mode.
No, not at all, really. Except, I don't know, hear the end credit music if you're into it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But I mean, if you've played through it before, so you know how to play it, and if you do it co-op again with someone else that hasn't played it, you're just going to get frustrated.
Yeah, or they're going to get frustrated because you're just solving all the puzzles for them straight away.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know about the replayability, but it did get us thinking about co-op games, as in what other co-op games that we're like, hey, this was fun.
Yeah, we should do this more often.
We should do this more often, and then you start to look back in like over the history of like games that have co-op modes or specific co-op modes or things like that, and there's just not that many out there.
Well, there's been more lately, but it's mostly your Army of Two sort of bullshit. There's the 2 guys in there who was a cover-based shooter. So I can't remember the last cover-based shooter I did where you didn't have like almost constantly an NPC support character with you, and a lot of them just do the 2 thing.
Well, the other one is a lot of the co-op games are just, it's almost like a single-player game, except you got like an AI with you, but they're a person.
Yeah, pretty much like Gears of War.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not too bad. See, I remember playing Halo. The first time I ever played through the original Halo, I did co-op. And you get to the things where you drive the Warthog and someone else shoots, and it's like there are a lot of moments of interaction even through the single-player story. It was good.
Yeah, well, I always thought that the co-op thing in Gears of War kind of hamstrung the drama a bit because you knew you were never going to get separated.
Right.
Because you were always in co-op.
Yeah.
So there always had to be a co-op option.
Yes.
So you knew that those 2 guys are always going to be stuck together. There's never going to be anything interesting happen.
The only good co-op, the other good co-op game I can think of where you don't actually interact with each other is Serious Sam.
Yes, that's another one we want to play soon.
Definitely want to check that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to jump into this. We actually we're going to mention a couple of Serious Sam things.
Oh, what an expert link!
I know. Do you like that segue? Was that good?
Yes. Yeah? You are worthy of the BBC Continuity Announcers Department.
Thank you. Okay. Really? What?
Just continue.
Okay. So Serious Sam 3 has been announced. It was announced this year. It's in development.
Yes.
And there's a couple of screenshots that came up that I just wanted to show Yahtzee, because Yahtzee has a general policy with games and trailers and screenshots.
Yes. Don't.
Yes.
Basically, that's about sums it up.
He doesn't look at them at all. In fact, when there's movie trailers on or a gaming demo or anything like that, he walks out of the room.
I don't need hype because I know I'm going to be playing the game anyway. I'm
Right.
a reviewer. It's my job.
Okay.
And the only thing hype can do is give me like expectations that I don't need.
Are you a reviewer or a critic?
I'm a critic.
There we
We've
go.
been over that.
Anyway, so there's 40 screenshots of Serious Sam.
Right, impress me. I'm
Yes.
looking at a big cloud of nothing.
It looks
With,
like a
there's a tentacle poking out. You know what that looks like? That looks like
dune.
one of those. That was like one of those.
Sandworms.
You know those in old comic books. Whenever they had to represent a fight, they just have a big dust cloud appear, and a fist would appear out of it, and someone's foot, and you'd hit like big words would come out saying "crack" or "boom" or
But then,
"ouch."
Then
That's what I'm reminded of. Just
Okay.
a dust cloud with some tentacles coming out of it.
All right, we'll move on to the next one.
Hang on, go back.
Go back.
What the hell's that in the top left?
It's a helicopter. Are you
Helicopter
blind?
in Serious Sam. Where was Serious Sam 1 set? Tell the people.
In Egypt.
Thank you.
Yes, this one is set in Egypt as well.
With helicopters. It's in modern day.
Don't
Egypt.
question Serious.
It was kooky.
Yes, I know it was kooky, but you
was
can't
fun.
say, "Oh, Serious Sam doesn't have helicopter." Serious Sam had headless guys with bombs in their hands running towards
Exactly.
you. Do not start to question the authenticity of
I'm not.
things in Serious Sam
I'm questioning.
or the lack of.
I'm questioning the fact that apparently now they're turning it into a modern military shooter with aliens.
Okay, well, speaking of that, we'll move on.
From the look of this screenshot.
Okay, hold on.
Okay,
Here's
show
the
me
next one.
Oh, look, a ruined city. It's a monster in a ruined city. I'm going to keep tally marks of how many ruined cities I've seen in games. I just been playing Crisis 2 actually, most recently.
Is that's based in Ruined City?
It's in
I
New
haven't
York.
played Crisis.
It's in ruined New York.
Is that a ruined New York?
Yes,
Okay.
it's been invaded.
Okay, so you're sick of ruined city, but this is in Egypt. It's a ruined Egyptian city.
Oh, so we're back to modern warfare now, are we?
Oh,
What?
well, hold
Tell me that is not a manky bus from Doom that we're looking at there.
with the big rocket launcher things attached
Yeah, a
to
big
its
fat
arms.
thing with dual
Slug
rocket launchers.
looking thing. Valid. All right, next image. I'll put all these images up on Australian Gamer as well, so everyone can check them out. But
Oh, look, more ruined city.
more ruined city.
Barbed wire.
Yes,
What the hell's that in the background?
that's some creature running away from a rocket launcher thing. I believe it's the same slug-like thing that had the rocket launchers in its arms originally.
Okay.
So
Is that to
and,
play a character then?
I-
Sam's put on weight.
and the last image,
It looks like a screenshot from Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, actually.
it does a little bit, doesn't it?
Except with things in the foreground.
But here's the thing, because I looked at these before we did the podcast. This is the first time Yahtzee's seen them, and not a single one of these images looks like a Serious Sam game.
Well, this is my point that I'm driving at.
What?
Somewhat.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Careful where you go down here, because I remember having
Well,
a conversation
Serious
with
Sam
you
was
similar to this the other day.
Serious Sam was like a classic shooter in like a fantastic ancient Egypt realm and huge arenas
Yes.
with millions of baddies.
Yes.
And look what we got here. We got
Oh, so
got two baddies in a courtyard.
so hold on. Exactly how much innovation are you looking for in sequels? as
Very
opposed to-
little.
Very little.
I'm stuck in my mud.
Really.
Well, what I'm telling you, what we don't need is more cover-based, realistic, grimy shit.
This coming from the man who was criticizing me for being pissed off about Max Payne.
Well, it's
Yeah. Oh.
well, you
oh.
have to take contrasting viewpoints, dude.
Oh. Okay. Right.
But at least
Yeah. Come on.
your objection to Max Payne was that they were doing something like completely off the wall with the Hawaiian shirt,
Yes.
and the bald and the beard.
Yes.
But to make this comparable,
Yeah.
then games would have to have been recently infested by characters with bald heads, beards, and Hawaiian shirts.
All right. Well, I guess the other interesting thing I looked up about Serious Sam 3 is it's 16-player co-op.
Well, so Serious Sam 1.
16-player co-op?
Yeah, up to. Serious Sam HD is.
Jesus. Okay, I didn't realize that. Well, I guess that's not all that special anyway.
I was checking the other day.
Okay, all right, fair enough. But I do remember playing the first Serious Sam on PC in the place where I worked at the time, and 5 o'clock knockoff, everyone would stick around, put on Serious Sam, and especially those last couple of levels with the huge boss,
Yeah, when
and you're
they get
shooting
the-
fucking cannonballs
When
out.
they
and-
really just get the crowds going.
yeah, I mean, this is the stuff that I'm looking forward to with like Duke Nukem and stuff like that. Is I feel like it's been so long since I played a game where you shoot a rocket and then you can strafe around for a good 5-10 seconds and watch it fly.
Well, this is
towards the
my
bad
point.
guy.
This is what I was hoping Bulletstorm would be,
Yeah.
but it wasn't.
No, but it's on the right track to at least trying something different.
I
but
hope so. I'm just going to keep like banging on this until people just make Painkiller again.
Fair enough. Other co-op games. We can only think of a couple. If anyone can think of any others, please do post them in the forums.
You can play System Shock 2 co-op. There was a patch.
Really?
Yes. I played it with old Matt once. Yes.
Right.
Previous Matt.
Yes, the previous
Matt I lived with before the current Matt.
Right, you've got Matt 2.0 now. That's where it's at?
Yes.
Okay. The only other one I can think of that I quite enjoyed was the Splinter Cell Chaos Theory.
Okay.
Where it wasn't the single player campaign.
Was that Chaos Theory? Or was that there was a co-op in the latest one. What was it called? Conviction?
Double Agent?
Conviction.
Yeah. There was a co-op.
Yeah.
But it's not the single player campaign, it's
a
co-op specific levels.
thing.
But it was good. It was quite inventive, and you needed the second person to progress through the levels, which is I think the co-op thing that we're kind of
that
after.
was the whole Portal 2
especially
thing,
after playing Portal 2.
Well, because that was a puzzle game.
Yeah.
But why would you need the other player to help you through with an action game unless it was just really hard?
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, you played it, dude.
Oh, Splinter Cell.
Yeah.
Well, you actually need the other person to lift you up to higher levels. You step on his hand, and then you pull him up to the window, sort of thing, and you coordinate your attacks. And actually, that's the other one. Modern Warfare 2.
Oh yeah, we played that, didn't we?
We did. There's co-op levels in that, and especially the sniper things.
I remember the co-op being necessary.
No. Not necessary, but there were moments where you snipers in the snow.
Yeah,
it's
we were in the snow, and I was like, "You watch our 6, I'll take point." Then I was like, "What the hell were those words that just came out of my mouth?"
Yeah, I had no idea, and we'd both die. But we did the level over and over again, so
it
we knew
means
everyone
you watch
was.
behind us, and I go ahead.
Right, that worked out really well for us.
Well, apparently, since you don't know what it means.
So yeah, anyway, if anyone does have any other, because we are looking for co-op games to play online, we go hankering for it after Portal 2. So
yeah, everyone's going on about Magicka as well. Shay really likes it
on Steam. Yeah. I don't know.
And I haven't quite grasped what that is. I think it's sort of like a Diablo-y but
Dungeon Siege sort of thing.
I don't know. I'd have to check it out.
Dungeon Siege, I'm keen to check out. I'd give that one a go as well.
Okay.
That's it. That's all. No.
Dungeon Siege 3 is coming out soon.
Yes, it is exactly. So okay, we'll move on to some of the other things we have to talk about. Deus Ex developers listen to their fans.
I doubt that.
Right.
And that's probably not a good idea anyway, because fans, let's face it, are dipshits. Yes, you.
So anyway, the story goes that Deus Ex: The Human Revolution, that's coming up in 2011,
which will never be as good as the first Deus Ex. Anyone who thinks it will be is a thicko.
Anyway, obviously the internet has watched a lot of the trailers and gameplay footage, and
I'm sure that they have, yes,
and things like this. And
you got a fucking poster for Deus Ex: Human Revolution. There it is. There.
Yes.
We're in Yug's temporary bedroom stroke workspace at the top of the Melbourne Manor Bar, and he's got...
don't do this.
He has specifically chosen the posters of the worst possible games.
Can I just say, the posters I put up on the wall, because it looked like, if I didn't put any posters up, this room, before I painted the floor, it was like a heroin addict's den, and all I had was an inflatable mattress that kept going down.
It's still a heroin addict's den.
Thank you. Anyway, I put up gaming posters, and the only gaming posters I had were things that we've gotten over the last year, been sent to us at the Manor Bar.
Yes, I get that, but Metroid Other M.
Yes.
Final Fantasy 14.
Well, look, I didn't...
Specifically in a position so that the character's handsome face looks down on you as you sleep.
I hadn't really thought about that. I hadn't really put... There's some credible... We've got Red Dead Redemption and Deus Ex, And
Wii Party. A poster for Wii Party.
There was like a space left. It had to be symmetrical. 6 on this side, 6 on that side. And all I had was Wii Party and Art Academy. Those were the last ones I had.
All right, Captain OCD.
So yeah, don't bag out my gaming poster things.
I'll bag out whatever I like.
Well, anyway, so back to Deus Ex.
Yes.
So the community of Deus Ex followers and fans and things like that noticed one of the things...
I wonder why there still is one of those, because you'd have thought Deus Ex 2 would have killed off a lot of them.
Well, no, because there were a lot of mods that came out of the original Deus Ex as well,
right.
and it was a hugely successful
It was
critically successful.
Yes, it was critically successful, very good game, but I don't think it's aged very well. When you look back at it now, it's got very boxy environments, all the characters based on the same model pretty much. And it's actually a really badly optimized game. I've seen people play it on like modern computers and it still chugs a bit.
I did download it on Steam actually. I downloaded it and installed it because I was keen to play it. Unfortunately, I couldn't even start because I couldn't get the sound working.
Whoopsie doodle.
And I went through all these online fixes and FAQs and you need to actually tweak the config file. You need to download this file and put it on this or fix it. And if you've got this particular sound card, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
But once it actually was working, it was a pretty good game.
Yes,
but anyway,
exactly.
we digress.
We do digress. So their concerns and worries were surrounding the footage that showed the augmented reality feature. That's built on the idea that the guy is equipped with cybernetic implants and he can interact with the world objects that are highlighted if they can be used or useful.
Okay, so what's the objection?
Well, people were like, well, we don't want them to highlight, doors and pickups and switches and things like that. That takes us out of the reality of the game.
I hate to be the one to bring this up, but didn't that exact feature exist in the first Deus Ex?
You said that, but I don't...
Yes, it did.
It did, okay.
Everything you can interact with was highlighted with like a little HUD box.
Yes, you're right. It came up with the little white...
Yes, not only that, I can name other games that did the same thing.
Yep.
Thief 1, 2, and 3. Items would light up when you were looking at them and can interact with them. System Shock 2.
Yes.
Again, a little HUD box appeared around them.
Yep.
I think these people are just trying to get attention, or just trying to find something to complain about.
Well, as a matter of fact, they got attention because Square Enix pretty much...
They should have just...
Eidos Montreal...
whatever attention they gave, unless it was this... was the wrong attention.
Right. Well, that's not the response they gave to their community and followers of the game they're bringing out.
I do that sort of thing to my community and followers
what?
all the time.
You abuse the shit out of your followers. You hate your followers. In fact, you take joy in hating on your fans.
They love it.
I've seen people come up to him and go, Yahtzee, hey, I'm a huge fan. And you just turn around and go, yes, that's nice. Or, well, of course.
They make me uptight.
Right. But
I'm afraid they might stab me.
Eidos have basically turned around and gone, okay, well, we'll now include the ability to turn this feature on or off.
Yes. Let's make a conciliatory gesture for the dipshits.
But yeah, I think that's... Look, it is... Oh, God, I can't talk to you about this. I was going to say I think it's kind of cool how the community can actually... A community that are fans of an upcoming game can actually have an effect, and the developers can interact with the community before the game comes out to actually have some input onto the final product or things like that.
Even if it's dumb input in this case.
Well, if it's dumb input, then the designers of that game should know as much and not actually bend to the whims of silly ideas from the community.
Well, it's such an easy fix, just to shut up this one small group of people, just to have a thing that turns it off.
And then they all feel completely special and the developer listens to us.
Yeah, but I bet if they had like a complaint like the character looks like a gay, they wouldn't like do something about that.
Well, they probably need a little bit more constructive criticism than that.
He's got a gay little tash. He's got a gay soul patch.
Right. No.
No, they're not going to fix that. You know why? Because they'd have to change all the character textures, facial animations. It's only because this was easy that they did it and got easy marketing points.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Well, it did get picked up quite a bit, so a lot of people do know about it.
I'm not fooled.
No.
IDOS, you twats.
Fair enough. We have one last thing that we're going to talk about. This is going to be an interesting one.
I bet it will be.
Yeah.
Come on, get it out.
Sonic Generations.
Yes. We just looked at a video of this.
We did.
Apparently they're going to, or they have already, remade all the classic Sonic games in Sonic 4 style.
Hold on. Whoa. No.
Okay.
You're wrong. So this thing, Sonic Generations, is coming out soon because it is the 20-year anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog this year.
Whoop-de-fucking-do.
Yeah, I can see you're excited.
3 years of good games, 17 of shit.
So Sonic Generations is taking a lot of the original levels from the original Sonic the Hedgehog games and turning them into putting them in the 3D environments and engines used by more recent Sonic games. So what you can do is you can either play through these levels in 2D, but with all the 3D effects and everything like that, or you can also play through them as the more updated Sonic the Hedgehog in the third-person running along the ground.
I'm calling massive bullshit on this. I don't think the same level could be played in two different ways in the way shown.
Well, that's what they're claiming. They're actually saying players will be able to jump into the shoes of either modern Sonic we all know well, or the classic 90s Sonic many grew up with, allowing each stage to be played either from the retro side-scrolling perspective of old or the 3D adventure similar to modern titles.
Nah, I think they're going to have I think they're necessarily going to have a different layout for each mode.
Sonic Generations rebuilds many classic levels and worlds in 3D.
Yes.
Yes.
Like what Sonic 4 did.
No, don't mention Sonic 4. Can we just, you know what? Just
Sore spot.
No, for the sake of this particular conversation, and this will be a challenge for you, or probably not, but just for my benefit, can we pretend Sonic 4 didn't happen? Just for the sake of this conversation.
And while we're doing this, can we also pretend we're on Mars? And we've got rainbow unicorn friends who bring us Easter eggs. Oh, thank you, Flopsy. Chocolate.
It's you know, that killed my Sonic. I grew up on Sonic the Hedgehog.
Did you play that fan-made 3D Sonic game?
I've got it on my laptop. It's great.
It's good, isn't it?
It's awesome.
It was made in Unity, which is a free 3D game creator that I've dabbled with. Having dabbled with it, I'm very impressed with what they were able to do with it.
They released it, I think, a week after Sonic the Hedgehog 4 actually came out. So
yeah, so obviously they were developing in tandem to a certain extent.
They were, but it was a little bit of a
it's way better than Sonic 4.
Yeah, this is how it should be done.
Wasn't it like cease and desisted? I remember hearing that it was.
I don't know. I'll look at it. Well, I've still got a copy on my laptop.
Oh, yes.
But anyway,
Sonic
Generations. I approve of Sega actually trying to do Sonic stuff that actually appeals to the people that grew up with Sonic. So I don't want
trying to remember how to make good games.
Look, I'm simply saying I don't want any more Sonic versus the Black Dark Knight thing.
Did you play Sonic Colors?
I did.
What did you think of that one? Because I know a lot of people who think it's like a return to form. I don't personally.
I did like it. I did like it, but I think my fundamental problem is I really only prefer Sonic as the 2D Sonic. Oh, that's why I was so excited about Sonic the Hedgehog 4. And you know what? Maybe Sonic 4 could have been good if they didn't have that movement thing where he doesn't move if you don't push a button, sort of thing. There was no
coulda, woulda, shoulda, man.
But no, colors were good. Anyway, look, I just approve of them trying to do this thing with Generations where they, take
no, I think what
levels
it is,
and things that
what
I like.
This game is basically Sega going, "What do you people want?"
And the people going, "We don't know anymore," or "We don't care."
We don't know. You've given us so much shit. We can't even remember why we like this franchise. And where's Tails, by the way? I watched this trailer. I just see no Tails.
There is no Tails.
He was better. He was better than Sonic.
He was better than Sonic.
He had the same speed, and he could fly.
Well, okay, did you think Knuckles was better than Sonic?
Yes.
Okay, how many of the characters in until you went, now this is just ridiculous? You got Sonic, Tails, Knuckles.
I think Knuckles was a pinch. Anything after that was,
Anything after that?
Yeah.
So, there was the Metal Sonic? What was it?
That was Sonic 2.
He was also in Sonic CD.
Yes.
Okay, but other playable characters like Amy.
Fuck that.
Big the Cat.
Anything past Knuckles himself was a pinch. Anything past that is just no.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Only Tails. Tails was in it while it was still good. Tails is the only one.
Right, fair enough. All right, well, anyway, I don't know when that game comes out, Sonic Generations. It's coming out on the 360.
What's an informative podcast?
And PlayStation 3 later this year. How's that?
Oh, okay, that'll do.
Yeah, that'll do.
You just camp outside the PlayStation Network and wait for it to appear.
Which went down.
Yes, it did, didn't it?
Yeah.
And Anonymous is saying it wasn't us this time.
I did think it was a bit interesting that PlayStation Network went down at the same time that Xbox Live offered free Xbox Live all weekend.
Oh, I see.
A conspiracy?
Conspiracies.
Perhaps.
Suspicious. Maybe it's the end of the world.
No, what? Because what? What? Oh my God! The gaming servers of
maybe it's the first sign, dude. Slippery slope. Thin end of the wedge. There's been this series of short stories on Cracked about notes from the internet apocalypse, where it's like a story about what would happen if the internet suddenly disappeared. And
Okay.
it's basically like an apocalypse.
What does it say? What would happen if the internet disappeared?
Yeah, it's like a series of like comedy articles on cracked.com
Okay.
that everyone
Is
reads.
there anything in particular that stood out that you're like, oh yeah, that actually sounds reasonable and right?
Well,
Maybe
it's
that
not
would-
reasonable. It's a bit stupid. It's silly,
Right.
obviously. I'm just saying, like, it would, if the internet did go away, it would be kind of apocalyptic for you and me.
Well, it would pretty much end our careers fairly quickly.
Well, yes.
Yes.
Well, maybe yours. I'm a novelist too.
Oh,
Remember?
right. Yes. Okay. Thank
And
you.
I wrote for print magazines before I did internet stuff. So,
You know, I did think about this. Yes, we were doing a hypothetical the other day, and the hypothetical is, if the world.
here we go.
Here we go. This was your idea.
Yeah, but we're going to be stuck on this topic for ages because
No,
we were last time.
No, this is it. We're like, this is the last thing of the
okay,
podcast.
okay.
This is it. And then after this, it's over. It's done.
All right.
Okay.
Fine. I'll never see you again.
No, fine. Go back to Brisbane. I don't
will.
care.
I will.
Whatever. I'm going to stay down here and freeze
Yeah,
my
in your
balls
heroin addict's den. Yes.
off with my handsome Final Fantasy characters staring at me.
So you look up at him and jerk off late at night.
Thank you, Yahtzee. Yes, great.
So yes, the like conversational debate we were having was one of them like 3 a.m. conversations, like what superpowers would you want? And in this case, it was if the world was about to end and you could quantum leap into the body of a person within a small specific physical area in any time period in history. You can guess that we had a lot of discussion about
can I
refining
just say, this thing first started off with Yahtzee going, so if the world was about to end and you could time travel to any period you want, where would you go? And I'm like, well, hold on a second. And then started bringing up all these stipulations.
Like
So we had to get really
tools
specific.
can he bring? What clothing can he wear?
That's right, because I don't want to land in the 1930s or something like that, completely naked, or the 1800s, or I'm gonna have a shit rest of my life because I'm poor and naked. I got no skill sets.
All right, fair enough. If you quantum leap into the body of someone who already exists and you absorb their knowledge, so it's not really killing them.
Yes.
It's like merging with that person.
Yep.
But you're still you, and then you just go on with their life.
Yes.
What time period would you go for?
Okay, now I thought long and hard about this, mainly just bringing up all these stipulations and things like this, and I've chosen Woodstock in 1969 purely because anyone in that general vicinity, because the stipulation is you will quantum leap into someone within a 50-meter radius, and if you're if you're thinking of going back to like a medieval castle or something, that doesn't mean you're going to bounce into some lord or knight.
No, you could very easily be a servant. In fact,
Exactly.
statistically, you probably would be.
Exactly. So I'd bounce back to Woodstock because either you're going to be someone young, having a fantastic time, or you'll be a rock star.
Dead in 10 years.
Well, you're about to die anyway. The end of the world is coming.
Yeah,
whatever.
I mean, imagine taking that policy and you look down and suddenly you're Jimi Hendrix and you go, oh shit,
Well, maybe
I'm going to choke on my own vomit
maybe
next
you can
year.
avoid and change the future. That's the point. But you wouldn't want to go back to like 10 years ago because then you know that in 10 years the world's going to end.
Well, this was actually supposed to be a personality analysis question rather
right.
than a sci-fi debate.
Well, what was yours? Where would you go?
As I said, I would like to go into like a wealthy New York area during the Roaring '20s.
Right.
And when the Great Depression hit, I would move to rural England and work on a farm.
1920s is like your Prohibition, Al Capone gangster type area, isn't
the
it?
fun times,
That's not-
speakeasies.
Oh, okay, yeah, maybe.
When gangsters were fun people who gave people booze instead of nasty people who sold them drugs on street corners.
This is one that you didn't actually stipulate or answer in this particular scenario, which is where, because you can't just transport into like the middle of Chicago or something like that. That's
No,
just
no.
You want somewhere where you've got a good chance of actually
I guess it would be a wealthy suburb in New York State.
Okay, all right, yeah, okay, fair enough.
And then when World War II breaks out, I'll just live in rural England because there's less risk of being bombed.
Yep.
And that had a great in like World War II rural England. There was a great sense of community because it was the last time that the world was fighting a just war against an undeniably evil villain.
I think, yeah, no, fair enough. I think the only other frustration that I've got is that if I went back any more than like 20 or 30 years, I don't really have any skill sets that would do me well.
Yeah, but you'd absorb the guy you leaped into.
Oh, that's right. You absorb their things. So, guy or girl.
Or girl.
What if you actually? I'm not.
What if you jumped into a whore? Yes.
Yeah.
Good
What if you jumped into a whore?
I'd enjoy it because
What do you mean you'd enjoy it?
I would absorb their enjoyment of being a whore.
And you'd also have your enjoyment of not having sex with men.
So suddenly, I like play for both teams, but it's fun either way. Suddenly, a whole new realm of experience is open to me. I could get some full-length dress mirrors and take all my clothes off and sprinkle myself with water and shimmy about.
Sick fucking conversation. Thank you for ending the podcast on this note, Yahtzee.
Glad to be of service, dude. Anytime.
Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Matt will be back next week with a special guest, and I'll be back the week after. And hopefully,
next week is in massive quotes.
Massive quotes. Yeah, we'll see if we can pick. I mean, really, anyone that's listened to these podcasts for any length of time should know that we are unreliable as fuck.
Actually, Matt's got some really good podcasting equipment now. So
he does. I got the shit stuff.
Yeah, he's got good reason to be on time.
Yes, that's
I hope
right.
you're listening to this, Matt.
Yeah. Or he's in Japan right now.
Yes, having a lovely time, I trust.
Yes.
I hope he brings you back some sweeties.
Oh, he said he'd bring me back something sick and depraved and disgusting.
Yep,
there's plenty of that.
About right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Cheery, bye.